One of the most difficult things for people in early sobriety is figuring out how to decompress after a long day, or how to, quote unquote, take the edge off. That's a very common phrase people use. There are so many TV shows and movies, and just in reality, in life, people are constantly saying, I need a drink. And it's usually in response to a stressful situation, a sad situation, a crazy thing that's happened in their life, and they need a drink. By the way, that's a whole separate conversation, but the phrase, I need a drink, is way too commonly used. And I think it teaches people that you can and should drink in stressful situations when there are so many healthier coping strategies that you can learn in sobriety. So anyway, I've been getting a lot of questions on my TikTok page about how do I decompress? How do I de-stress? That's the main reason I don't want to get sober. People keep telling me that they wouldn't know how to relax and take the edge off in the evening after work. And so in today's episode, I just want to talk about why we feel the need to decompress in the first place. Why we kind of try to escape the lives that we have, and how to change that, and also how to get that feeling of relaxation in sobriety. I will say that my perspective on that has completely changed since the beginning of my sobriety. I kind of thought like, oh my God, I'm just going to be a person that can't relax now. That's just not in my nature. I'm not going to be able to relax and watch a show and just chill. But newsflash, now that I am probably 300 days sober by the time you're watching this or listening to this, I can say that it gets easier and you can relax and decompress. So let's get into today's episode. Welcome to Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast. This is a no judgment zone. I really freaking like my life without alcohol. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Sobriety has changed my life completely. So taking the edge off, we have all heard this phrase, and generally what it means is that you need to escape reality and remove yourself from the sad life that you are living. Sorry if that is harsh, but let's be real. We don't like our job. We had a stressful day at work. Our coworkers are bugging the crap out of us. Our kids have been annoying us all day, if you're maybe a stay-at-home parent, whatever. And then you get to the evening and you're like, I just got to take the edge off. Like, I got to drink away this stress, turn off my brain. And I get that. But I want to start by saying that in sobriety, I literally love my life so much that there's not a life I feel I need to escape anymore. I don't live my life just waiting for the weekend so I can actually exist the way that I want to, or waiting till 5 p.m. so that it's socially acceptable to drink and forget my life. I live my life enjoyably. I wake up, I'm happy to be awake. I'm so excited for the morning every time I go to bed. I love the people around me. I am happy, I am satisfied, and so I don't even feel the need to drink my life away and, quote unquote, take the edge off. I don't feel the need to take the edge off. And so I'm not trying to criticize anybody or say that you have a sucky life, but I will say that if you are constantly feeling like you need to drink just to exist, like just to get through life, you might want to take a step back and evaluate the life that you are living, honestly. Because yes, jobs are to make money. And I do see some value in just a job that, you clock in, clock out, and then you can live your regular life outside of that job. I do see the benefit in that. But I think you should have some interest in the work that you're doing. And you should be working towards some goal, whether that's a promotion, or maybe you have a side hustle that you're working on, or you want to move up, to the next position. I guess that's called a promotion. Whatever success looks like in your line of work, I think you should always have some sort of goal. Maybe you want to move to a different company and you want to get some award at your company, a certification so that you can get that next level job, whatever. I'm trying to list as many examples as I can, but you get it for your personal situation. I think that you should have a job that fuels you and makes you excited and where you're growing and wanting something more down the road. I believe that. That brings me happiness personally, working towards a goal. Maybe you want to retire early. Maybe you don't like your job so much, but it pays you so well that you want to just retire. And so you have to have investments or other ventures so that you can retire early. Whatever. We should always be working towards something. And I think that if you have that mindset with your work or the thing that brings you income, how you spend your Monday through Friday, I think that makes you enjoy life a lot more. And sometimes we get roped into just the mundane day-to-day aspects of work. We're annoyed at our boss. We're annoyed at our coworker. We're annoyed that they're taking so much of our personal time. But if you have a deep goal in mind, then all that stuff is a lot less frustrating. So if your goal is to get promoted, every day at work is just seen through a little bit of a different lens. Like, you're so annoyed that you have to do these tasks and it's the same freaking data entry thing every day and it's so annoying and it's so boring, but you're working towards a promotion. So every day, what can you do to get to that promotion? You want to finish quicker. You want to have a good relationship with your boss. You want to do something extra so that you stand out. Maybe you're getting close to having that meeting about a promotion. So start brainstorming what you're going to talk about with your boss. I don't know. Each situation is different, but if you can find some sort of motivation at work to make the mundane Monday to Friday job a bit more enjoyable for you, I think you should do that. And if you really cannot find any way to make your work more enjoyable, maybe you should explore a different avenue of work that sparks joy in your life. Because let's be honest, we spend, I would almost go as far to say the majority of our lives at work. I should pull up a stat on that, but let's say you work Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. That is a huge chunk of your life. You work as much as you sleep. If you get 8 hours of sleep a night, okay, but you don't work on the weekends necessarily. I don't know, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. We spend a lot of our lives at work. So much of our lives. So I think that it's very, very important to like your work, like who you work for, like who you work with. I think enjoying your work is really important. And so back to the root of this issue. If you find yourself getting home after work and just saying oh, I can't wait to crack open a drink. I've had the longest day. Why has it been so long and agonizing for you? Maybe we need to reevaluate, look into what is so agonizing about our lives that we are living, choosing to live day to day, and reconsider what we're doing. I also think that you don't have to necessarily hate your job and hate your life to feel that need of taking an edge off. You've just been working hard, staring at a screen for several hours, and so you want to drink at the end of the day to just get into relax mode. I get that. That's kind of where I was. I liked my job. I liked my life. I was battling a significant drinking problem, so there were some issues there. But I liked my life for the most part. And at the end of the day, I would still feel like I wanted to have a drink. And I deserved a drink, really. And I just want to tell you that you do not have to have that drink to relax. There are other ways to shift your mind. I think that's the biggest thing is you want to go from work mode, focused, your customer service voice, having to be on your A game. You want to go from that to relaxed, in your sweats, totally zoned out, brain off. And alcohol helps ease that transition or kind of encourages that transition. It opens the doors for you to just be in relax mode. And there are different ways that you can trick your brain into being in relax mode. Just the other day, I found myself having kind of an I need to take the edge off kind of day, where I was frustrated. I had learned so much. I was just on research mode all day, learning, taking in new information, watching video after video, reading articles, taking notes. It was just a lot of time, and I worked way longer than a typical 8-hour day. I was like studying hardcore from dusk until dawn. Wait, dawn until dusk? Yeah, dawn until dusk, all day long. And so at the end of the day, I was like, God, that was kind of a stressful day. I sort of felt a craving for alcohol. And you know what I did instead? I went to the fridge and I cracked open a Budweiser Zero. 0.0% alcohol. That's why I love those, because it's not less than 0.5% alcohol. It is literally zero, not a trace of alcohol. It is alcohol free. And I love that. But anyway, I cracked one of those. And to me, just the flavor tricks my brain. And I understand that not everyone can do this in sobriety. Some people really try to avoid drinks that taste like alcohol or make them think of alcohol, like an NA wine or an NA beer. And I understand that. So of course, if that's you, then you'll have to take up one of the other strategies. But for people who can drink NA drinks, like NA beers, cracking that beer and just having that flavor, it's special. And it feels like taking the edge off. I used to drink non-alcoholic beers every day at a certain point in my sobriety. It's like I started my sobriety with no non-alcoholic beverages. I didn't drink them. Then I started to incorporate them, and I would have them when I was having a craving. Then I got to a place where I was having a non-alcoholic beer pretty much every night. And then I got to a place where I really don't drink non-alcoholic beers, but I like to have them on special occasions. And that's where I am right now. So when I was feeling myself having that craving, that feeling of needing to take the edge off, I cracked into one of those NA beers, and it just did the trick for me. That flavor and that special aspect of it being something I don't drink every day. And then I did what I would usually do in my drinking days. I paired it with a salty, crunchy snack. I had some peanuts. You can have some chips or whatever, like the things that go well with a beer. I love food and drink pairings, so I still try to do that in sobriety. And I love a salty, crunchy snack with my non-alcoholic beer. So I did that. I grabbed my drink and I turned on a show and I just vegged. Usually when I watch a show, I'm doing something else at the same time. I'm doing some editing. I'm responding to comments. I'm checking my text messages, my emails, whatever. I definitely am an ADHD, like multitasker, can never focus on one thing. But when I'm having that kind of day where I really need to decompress and take the edge off, I just fully let myself sink into the couch and watch the show with no distractions. And that combo of the NA beer with a nice food pairing, with fully focusing on fully focusing on the TV, not looking at my phone, that combo makes me feel like I am turning off my brain. And I don't know, for me, I like to watch reality TV when I'm having one of these days. Just something trashy, turn off your brain type of show. Like, that does it for me. And if you're comfortable with all of those things that I mentioned, then you should try it. Because it works. It worked for me. And it's cool because I don't really have many days where I feel that need to take the edge off. I don't. Okay, so in addition to an NA beverage and having that like beer, fake beer or wine to kind of trick your mind into the fact that you're taking the edge off, you can do that with also just a fun drink. Like, treating yourself in sobriety is still definitely a thing, whether that's having like your favorite cheat meal, like Chick-fil-A. Oh my God, I want Chick-fil-A now. So have a cheat meal like Chick-fil-A or Chipotle or whatever, like your favorite fast food place. That feels like a treat. It feels like something special, kind of like a drink would be. Or make yourself a fun drink that's non-alcoholic. Like, I love making a Diet Dr. Pepper with coconut creamer and lime. It sounds crazy, but it's a remake of one of the drinks at Swig, which is a soda shop in Arizona and Utah. A dirty Dr. Pepper, they call it. But anyway, you can make yourself like a fun mocktail or a fun drink that you love, and it still feels really special. I think the idea is that you're having something that you don't normally have to like help you relax or make you feel like you are separating from your day-to-day tasks or your work or whatever. So make yourself a fun drink of some sort, or have a fun meal of some sort, or have some ice cream, like have a dessert. By the way, Nick's ice cream at the store, it's Greek yogurt based, and it's actually not bad for you at all. It's super low calorie and it tastes like ice cream and it has the texture of ice cream. Highly recommend. But anyway, treat yourself, have something special, and that definitely helps trick the mind into like, I'm doing something different. I'm changing from work to play. I'm turning off my brain. And it doesn't have to be like an NA beer or wine. There are other fun drinks that you can have, even just a soda or, a cherry tart Sleepy Girl drink. Look that up on TikTok, the Sleepy Girl mocktail. I still need to try it myself, but it looks amazing. So basically trick your brain into thinking that you're relaxing, and that helps too. Another thing about sobriety, I talk about this in a lot of my episodes, but in the early days of sobriety, you feel this hyperactivity and restlessness because you've always used alcohol to relax. And when you don't have that, you're getting into the evening hours and you still feel like hyperactive and that you need to be productive at all hours. And my suggestion for that is to just embrace it. Sorry if this is redundant. I talk about this a lot, but do yard work, do an art project, do a home improvement project. I always say something with your hands is really good. So find a project or hobby or activity that you enjoy doing with your hands, knitting, a puzzle, something like that. And that will kind of keep your brain and body active when you're in that restless state. And here's the thing. In our heavy drinking alcohol days, we loved to turn off our brain and turn off our hyperactivity and restlessness. We loved doing that and just relaxing and basically just being a lazy bum, if I'm being frank. I loved doing that, and I loved that alcohol allowed me to turn off my brain, turn off my body, and just be a freaking blob on this earth and do nothing. But in sobriety, it's crazy. Like, I really enjoy feeling like I can be more productive. I love that feeling. And of course, we deserve to relax every now and then and take the edge off in our sober way. But I love living a life that I enjoy and having activities and hobbies that I love to do all the way into the evening. I love editing videos. I love filming videos. That's a hobby that I have. And last night, I was editing videos until 10:30 p.m. And some people might say like, geez, don't you want to relax? Like, just chill and watch TV? To me, that is kind of relaxing. It's something I enjoy doing. It brings me joy. And I love spending time doing that in the evenings. I've also rediscovered so many hobbies in sobriety. I feel like I have a life. Before it was like, just get through the workday so that I can basically do nothing and drink my life away. And now it's like, I enjoy my workday. I enjoy the work that I do. And then after the workday, I get to enjoy my personal life too. Whether that is playing Catan with my family, or reading a book on the balcony, or taking a walk with my favorite podcast. I really want to start knitting. That's why I keep talking about that, because I struggle with that restlessness sometimes and like always wanting to be walking around, moving, using my hands, fidgeting, whatever. And so I thought knitting would be a really fun hobby to get into. But anyway, that's not one that I have right now. But yeah, editing podcast videos, cooking dinner. The list goes on and on. Coloring books. I love doing all these activities. And I've rediscovered so many interests that I have in sobriety, because when I was a heavy drinker, I would never do anything, like pretty much ever. I would always rather be sitting on the couch just drinking alcohol. That was always my preference. Any activity that I thought might be fun to do one day, when it actually got to the day that I was going to go do that activity, I would always wish that I could just stay home and drink. Always. And now in sobriety, I go and do those things, even if they're just at home activities. And it could be productive things too. First of all, it can be hobbies and interests, all the things that I mentioned before. But it can also be just productive things that you need to do in your life, whether that's laundry, cleaning your room, going through your closet and giving away clothes, going through your shoes and giving away shoes, then taking them to the thrift store and maybe buying some thrifted items. Like, it's so fun. There's so many fun things to do, and you kind of forget about that stuff in your alcoholism or heavy drinking or whatever you want to call it. There is still so much life to be lived after work or school or whatever daytime responsibilities you have. Like, if you get off work at 5 p.m., you still have, let's say you have an hour commute, which most people probably don't. But let's say you get home at 6. You have 6 to 11 p.m. You have 5 more hours to do whatever you want in this life. And don't be stressed with having to do something incredible. That can be wanting to watch this movie that you've always wanted to see, going to the movie theater, watching a TV series. It could be working on a side hustle. We all have a side hustle that we've wanted to start and we never have. You have 5 hours every night to do that if you want to. Let's say you have a fitness goal. You can go on a walk. You can do a workout class. You can start your workout journey from home watching YouTube videos and following along in your living room. You can start on an art project. You can study a language or study real estate or study investing in crypto or I don't know, whatever. Like working on yourself and learning. There is still a whole life to be lived outside of work and school, and I think sometimes we forget that. Like if you're in school right now and you are done with your classes at 3 p.m., you have 3 to 11 p.m. to do whatever you want? Oh my God. Like, yes, you have to study for school and things like that, but there is a life to be lived outside of school and work. And sometimes we get stuck in the mode of like we're living just to work instead of working to live. Like it gives us our paycheck, and hopefully we enjoy our job, like I mentioned, but work is not our life. And you can have other hobbies and interests and an entire existence outside of work that you live after work hours. So please remember that. Like, go enjoy this beautiful life that we have all the way until the bitter end. And like I said, it doesn't have to be productive and doing all this crazy stuff. You can also relax, but watch something that brings you joy and that you'll remember. Because a lot of times I used to drink so much that I would forget what I even watched, let alone remember the details of a show or a movie or something like that. So enjoy life. Make a healthy dinner, make a fun dinner, bake something, give cookies to your neighbor. Like, I don't know. There are so many amazing things to do after work hours. So remember that you still have a life outside of work and go ahead and live it alcohol-free. And you get to rediscover those in sobriety, and it's actually really beautiful. So as nice as it is sometimes to completely turn off the brain and veg and just be a couch potato, it's also really fun to fill your day with things that actually make you happy all day long. And you do have to do a bit of a mental shift in your mind from like, I'm so annoyed that I'm so hyperactive and restless and I can't relax and it's so annoying. You kind of shift your mind from that to, wow, there's so many hours in the day that I get to enjoy however I want. I get to go to work and make money and then come home and bring myself joy or work on a side hustle or be productive and get your chores done. There's so much time to do what you want, and just think about how short life is. Don't you want to fill your days with stuff that makes you happy or makes you money or brings you connection with other people? Like, life is meant to be lived, not drunk away. So enjoy it, find hobbies that you like, and hopefully you can avoid that feeling of I need to take the edge off as much as possible. I do want to say though, in early sobriety, one thing that helped me, the recess drinks. Those are adaptogen drinks, RECESS, recess. They're so amazing, and they actually do have some relaxing properties in them. I get the ones called Calm, Cool, and Collected. They don't have any like mushrooms or THC or anything like that. They just have adaptogens, which make you feel relaxed I don't know how to describe it. But it's not even like you're having a glass of wine or something. It's not that extreme. Some people say they don't even notice it. But it does have some relaxing properties in it. And I love to fill up a wine glass with ice and pour in a recess drink. My favorite flavors are the strawberry rose and the raspberry lemon. And that kind of is another Band-Aid fix in early sobriety. So if you're looking for just an instant way to take the edge off in your sobriety, you basically want a replacement for how you used alcohol. The recess drinks are really good. There's also another one on Amazon. I forget the name of it, but it's a tall, skinny can with kind of funky font on it. Oh, it's called Moment. I just looked it up. So recess drinks and the Moment drinks, I have them both linked on my Amazon storefront, which I'll leave in the show notes here if you want to link to those drinks. But they're a great transition from alcohol to no alcohol. Like I said, they don't give you any sort of a buzz. You're not going to get addicted to them. I hardly even notice a difference. It's mostly just the mental feeling of having that drink. And they're a very light, sparkling drink, which I love. They're not like an intense, make you gassy kind of bubbly drink where you're burping and stuff. It's a very light, delicious drink. Both of those, Moment and Recess. I love them both. Some people turn to other substances, which I'm never going to promote. I don't do any sort of THC or any of that type of stuff to relax, because I feel like that could definitely become a transfer addiction if you are drinking alcohol to cope with the inability to relax and it's the only way you can turn off your brain. And then you literally take that need that you have and put it somewhere else, into a THC product. I think you would get just as addicted to the THC product because it's giving you that same feeling that you crave alcohol for. So you're not really getting to the root issue. The root issue is why do I feel like I need to take the edge off? And why do I feel like I need something to help me take the edge off, like an alcoholic beverage or THC? Why can't I just get to the root issue and relax in a more healthy way, if that makes sense? So anyways, yes, the Recess and Moment drinks are great for a quick fix. I probably stopped drinking those 2 months into my sobriety. I still have them on occasion. I love them, but I don't need them. In the beginning of my sobriety, I felt like I needed them, and they honestly got me through those early stages of sobriety, so I am very grateful for them. So I hope between the adaptogen drinks that I recommended, Recess and Moment drinks, and also suggesting NA, non-alcoholic beverages, suggesting just a fun mocktail, I hope those help you in your feeling of needing to take the edge off. But I also hope that our conversation about why we feel the need to take the edge off helps a little bit. We should all be living lives that we love and don't feel we need to escape. And, this is something that we're always working on. So I'm not trying to say this in a, condescending, my life is amazing, you need to work on yours way. I'm not. We all have parts of our lives that we don't love. So I think just trying to seek as much joy in life as possible helps you from feeling like you need to escape it and take the edge off. So thank you for listening and tuning in. We have episodes every Tuesday and Thursday, and I'm going to have some episodes sprinkled in over the weekends too. So make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes, and tune in for the next one. Bye, guys.